The Governor Newsom recall effort just hitting a major milestone, with organizers claiming that they have gathered more than the 1.5 million signatures needed to trigger a special election. Joining me now is Anne Hyde Dunsmore. She is the Rescue California campaign manager and finance director. Well, congratulations. Now that you have the signatures, what comes next?
Well, we don't, actually. I mean, that 1.5 million signatures is only 82% valid by our calculation, 82 to 84% valid, which means, and that's very normal, which means we need to get to 1.8. We're going to try and get to 2 million, actually, David, because we got to have a shenanigan buffer on top of the 1.8. Yeah, because unlike ballots, signatures can be discarded and invalidated behind closed doors. You don't get to have observers in that process.
Gotcha.
I'm one of those who thinks that signatures and petitions are like votes, but apparently the Secretary of State does not.
So you're going to need a buffer of several hundred thousand extra votes.
Yes.
Do you have a time limit during which you have to get that extra amount of votes?
Yes, we have to have them in by March 17th, but we won't need that much time. I'm confident that we'll get what we need by the end of February, early March. We need to be careful that we don't give them any excuse for pushing deadlines back. We've been submitting signatures every week so that they can't say that we didn't give them enough time to count the ballots. And we're covering every possible gap that they could game that we possibly can.
Now, assuming that you get the number of signatures and assuming that there is a recall, if there is an actual vote, Democrats, you have about twice as many registered Democrats in California as registered Republicans. Presumably, you're going to need a lot of Democrats voting in the direction you think is necessary. Do you have them? Are all these signatures Republicans, or are there Democrats signing up too?
No. Well, thanks for asking. We did mail. Rescue California is sort of an auxiliary organization. The original petitioners are Recall Gavin 2020. We are rescuecalifornia.org. We've had 5,000, they've had 5,000 volunteers on the street, and we did a random sample on the signatures just that we've gotten through the direct mail, which went to Republican households. But as you know, those are mixed households. Now, what came back was 66% Republican, but what was really surprising, and you're saying Democrats, don't forget that no party preference is its own party in California. So we got 22% of the signatures in a Republican mailing were no party preference, and 9.5 were Democrat, nearly 10%. So I say he has a very big problem, and I wouldn't call it partisan. Bipartisan even. I would call it nonpartisan. This is a citizen movement, and every single time they try to bring up politics or inject political rhetoric in about this, there's a backlash. People don't just ignore it.
Well, there's
a
backlash all over the country, and we have to go, but we don't have a recall system here in New York. But we were reporting about Governor Cuomo and the problems he has. If we did have one here, might affect his future as well. In that regard, Anne Hyde Dunsmore, thank you very much for being here. Appreciate it.